the motor that came out of the car. Today we're going to break it down and see why it's got 40% leak by and what other strange issues we might come across. Here we are, documenting the Corrado Compendium.
That's pull a cylinder head.
This is Nick. We won't say his last name, but he's good friends of mine. We'll just call him Franzicles. Here. What are we looking at here? Okay, so we got some studs we're pulling off of there. Looks like those lifters were recently replaced, huh?
Nice.
Son of a... What's going on here? Oh, this is updated timing components too? Oh, wow, man. Okay. Well, why are we pulling this motor apart today? Because it leaks 40% by the rings. Let's take a Corrado update. We got a little dust on this. Don't worry about that. Had to weld. When I say weld, I mean weld the engine mount bracket. Put a reinforcement weld on the transmission one. This is the K-frame for the Corrado. Doing a little bit of cleaning up on things. So, Mark IV shift tower that we pulled out of the transmission, out of a modernized transmission off of a VR6 Jetta or something, Mark IV. You know, fuel injectors in the rail, cleaning that stuff up, figuring out which lower intake I'm gonna port and clean up. You know, working on the motor over here. Realized the flywheel that was in it didn't have the alignment dowels and was machined already. The timing was recently replaced on all this, so the components were good still. Let's see, that's the transmission that came out of it with 100mm flanges, but there's no center nut or center bolt to remove it. I think they're clipped in. So we had to pull the flanges out of another transmission and pull the flanges out of this and fit those flanges in there and test fit the axle, make sure the axle worked for it. So yeah, things you might want to know. Here's the motor that's going in it. We're just cleaning things up for it right now, cleaning all the excess carbon off things, swapping the timing components over. Man, it's just components going into the storage. Alright, I don't use those. I was actually explaining that to a buddy that I don't use these kinds of discs, but I have plenty of them. The lead head gasket that came off of it, the head that came off of it, and what I wanted to explain to some of you, the copper coat for the head gasket was a pretty decent idea. It stopped the electrolysis from happening. This is just 4 or 5 years of use, I guess, maybe a little more. But yeah, copper coat's good stuff. Go and look over at the block. Same thing. Copper coat stopped the majority of the rust from happening. Instead of being around everything, it was just some couple of small spots. So copper coat's the stuff to go with, man. Just extra stuff. But yeah, guess I wanted to get y'all an update of what was going on. That's the shift tower going in it, and it seems to operate. So we're just taking the old speed sensor, the correct flanges, the mount, the shift tower, and whatever other components that we need. Ew, that's rusty. So we get to clean some things. Just a quick update. What's going on? Yeah. Thanks for staying posted. Got one other thing I was doing here. So we don't have a mark or a hole for where our timing mark would be. And I like that. I like that there hole. So what I was looking at was we actually got a little tooth hanging out there that I'm going to try and put a hole saw to and see if I can't get that hole put in there correctly. Maybe open it up with a carbide. But yeah, addition to the video.